Welcome to online classes. I am Shilpa, lecturer in computer engineering, working at Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, GMR Polytechnic, Karimnagar. We are discussing OOPS through C++ subject. In previous class, we discussed how a friend function can return an object as its return value. And also we have observed one example program for that is friend function can return an object as its return value. And also we discussed about what is meant by function overloading. Before that, what is polymorphism, what are the different types of polymorphism, what is meant by function overloading, and what are the characteristics of function overloading, how we can overload a particular function, and we have seen one example program how we can overload a function. In today's lecture, we are going to see some more example programs and function overloading. That is on different uh, data types, same operations but on different data types, and even by using pass by reference. How we can overload a particular function we will see in today's lecture, and if time permits then we will go for third chapter, that is C++ input output operators. Okay, so we will continue with our previous lecture, that is example programs and function overloading. What is meant by function overloading? If we are providing more than one meaning to a particular program, then that is called as function for particular function, then that is called as a function overloading. That is, here in function overloading, more than one function is having the same name but with different number and type of parameters as arguments. So how these number of functions can be distinguished? Obviously, here the name of these functions are same. Then how we can recognize? First, one function is different from another function based on the number and type of arguments we pass as arguments to that particular functions. We can distinguish these functions. That concept is called as function overloading. Okay, I have seen adding two integers, three floats like that in previous lecture. In today's lecture, I am going to overload the function repeat char REP char. One first function is without any arguments. Without any arguments. That is this one. Repeat char without any arguments. And same function name repeat char with one argument, that is of type character. And same function name repeat char with here two arguments of type char and integer. So this is called as function overload. In this program, it is having three functions with same name, but they are different in their parameters list. Okay, so this is an example program for function overloading. Now we will see. So in main, simply I am calling these three functions. Okay, first one is without any parameters, so that's why I call that particular function repeat char as usual. And in the second, in order to call the second function, we need to pass one character. That's why by passing character equals to, okay, I am calling the function repeat char. So as it is accepting one character, character always should be within single quotes. That's why here I provided single quote. Okay, and I want to call the third function, that is repeat char, with two arguments. One is of type char and another one is of type int. So that's why plus 30. Okay, and if you observe the definitions of these functions, simply the first function definition is without any arguments. Here I am we are writing one for loop. Okay, for int I equal to 0, I is less than or equal to 45, I plus plus, we are going to print a particular character here. We are going to repeat the printing of a specific character here. Cout star ended. Up to how many times? 45 times. Okay. So likewise, here we are passing one character, right? So we are trying to print this character for again 45 times. That is using for loop. For I equal to 0, I is less than or equal to 45, I plus plus. Cout this past character, whatever it is. This past character. In previous case, we are providing star. Okay. And in the third one, that is here we are passing the character to be print and even the number of times. Okay. So that's why here I am using for loop for I equal to 0, I is less than n. N is taken from the parameter value. Okay, from the parameter. Okay, that is n. And this ch is again from the parameter. So this n times this character will be printed. Okay. This is the definition of the each and every function here. Okay, so simply we are declared three functions with same names with different arguments. And I am calling these three functions by passing appropriate parameters. Okay, and we define those functions based on their parameters. Okay, here only the intention is each and every function is going to print a particular character for some number of times. So now open Turbo C++. New file. Okay, and write the program. Hash include iostream hash include Tonio. Okay. Next we are this is an example program for function overloading. Function overloading example. Okay. So here we need to declare all the functions. Void repeat char without any arguments. Next, void repeat char with one character, that is one argument, and same void repeat char. Here we need to pass character as well as the number of times, that is integer variable. Okay, now write the main into main and simply call these functions rep char. Okay, next rep char and pass one character. So character should be within single quotes. Okay, and next rep char and one character, right? One character and number of times. Here I want to print only 5 times, because if that is 30 or 45 times, no, we cannot able to see all these three functions output on the monitor, because that will be very lengthy. Okay, so ch return 0. Now define each and every function. Declaration is completed, calling is completed. Now we need to define the function. int I equal to 0, I is less than 5. Only 5 times I want to print. Of course, you can print any number of times, but here my intention is I want to show the output of all these three uh, functions. That's why I'm using only 5. If I provided their like uh, 45 or 50, only I can able to see you or show you only hardly one or one and a half output, not the complete one. Okay, that's why. And I'll end of this function. Okay, now with one argument, repeat char with one argument. Okay, so char ch. Again for loop, for int I equal to 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus. Here it has to print that past character. Cout ch. Cout that past character. End of the function. Next, last one is while repeat char and pass these two. That is char ch comma int n. The pass values will be stored into these appropriate variables. Again for int I equal to 0, I is less than, here you passed n, okay, and I plus plus cout that past character. Okay, this is your wish. As here this for loop consists of only single statement, we need not to use this open and close after this particular for. Okay, if you want you can, otherwise you can omit, because this for loop body consists of only single statement. Okay, now save the file with file name function overload 1. Okay, now compile the program. 0 errors. Now run the program. See, 5 times star, 5 times equals to, and 5 times plus. Right? Is it clear? First one is first star is with no arguments, without argument repeat char, and equals to is with one character. Okay, and plus is with two characters, plus and 5. Okay, you can change these values, but we cannot see these three functions outputs on the screen. If you change the number of times that the particular character has to be repeated, if you want you can, otherwise for example, if here I want to change this as 10, 10 times. Now save the program, compile the program, run the program. Plus, that is okay, no clear screen, okay. 5 stars and equals to 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that is 5 plus 6. Okay, so this is output of this function. That is, in this case we are using this function overloading for printing some character for some specific number of times. Okay, and we'll move to next program. Next program on function overloading. So here we are going to write a program, okay, to find the volume of a cube, volume of a cylinder, and volume of a cuboid. Okay, using function overloading. If I ask you to write a program to find the volume of three different shapes using function overloading. Okay, in this case I am taking cube, cylinder, and cuboid. Cube, cylinder, and cuboid, because here these three shapes are having three different uh, that is data types. They can take different data types and they can return different data types as their return value. That's why I am taking here these three. Okay, so for that, first in previous example we have taken those in that those three functions with only void return type, with only void return type. But here we are taking three different return types, the same functions, okay, with different arguments and different return types. Okay, so first one is int. It returns an integer and it accepts an integer value as argument, and it finds the volume, that is normally for a cube. Okay, in order to find the volume of a cube, we are having a that is formula a cube. And in order to find the volume of a cylinder, pi r square h. Okay, so radius I can take as double and integer. And long int I am passing these three as arguments to volume function, and it returns long. Okay, so this is for to find the volume of a cuboid. Okay, so here main cout volume I am passing one integer, so that this particular statement calls the definition of this first function, and volume I am passing one double and integer. So here this function in this statement at the compiler, when it encounters this particular statement, it will call the function definition of this second function, and next cout volume. Okay, so here I am passing one long int. So here it will take it will call third function. Okay, third function. So this is an example program for function overloading, in which it will functions calculate volumes of different shapes. And for the first one, into volume, and I am passing one integer, and the formula is, in order to find the volume of a cube, uh, s cube. Okay, s cube. That's why I am passing an integer. It will s into s into s, and it returns an integer. And double volume, here I am passing one double value and one integer, and pi r square h. Okay, this is the volume of a cylinder, and here and it returns obviously a double value. Okay, and long volume, and here long L int b and int h, lbh. This is a formula for finding volume of a cuboid. Okay, so that's it here. Now open um, Turbo C++ and new new and here write the program. Hash include iostream.h, hash include formula.h. Okay, and the function declarations: int volume, and passing one integer, and double, return type is double, and the name of the function is volume only, and it is taking two uh, arguments, double, double, double comma int data types. Next, long, it is the return type, and the function name is volume, and it is taking three arguments, long, comma, int, comma, int. Okay, now write the main function, main, and clear screen. Okay, and cout, volume, integer. Okay, and next, cout, call volume by passing double and int 2.5, 8. And next, cout, volume, and pass one double, one two integers, LH, LBH. Okay, and now get ch and return 0. Now define each and every function here. Int volume, pass one integer, int a cube. Okay, so return a into a into a. A into a into a. Next, next is double. So double volume and pass one double and one integer. Double r comma int h. Return pi r square h. Pi means here 3.145. 14519 into r square. Okay, that is r into r into h, pi r square h. Okay, and next, third one is long, volume, and pass one long L comma int b comma int h. So return LBH. That means L into b into b into h. Some people here may write directly LBH, but the computer does not understand what is meant by LBH. So we need to provide, that is manually we know that is multiplication of L and L, B and H. Okay, so that's why normally we write LBH, but the computer does not know. That's why we need to use this star. Close of this function. And once check the program volume with one integer, volume with double and int, and return type double, volume long, int and return type long, and we are calling these three functions with by passing those different types of data types. And after that we have defined each and every, that is in this case these three um, functions. Okay, now save the file. Okay, function overloading 2. Function overload 2 dot cpp. Already we are having one function, so we need to better to change the name. Function overload 2. Again same name. Okay, compile the program. Compile, one error, working with the undefined symbol, cut. Okay, see out. See out. What it is, overwrite existing file function over. Again and again we are getting the same error, but okay, compile the program. Compile the program, no errors. Run the program. See how 1157 is integer, a cube 10, 10 into 10 into 10. Okay, 1000. Next 2.5 comma 8, right? Pi r square h, pi r square h. So 3.14519 into 2.5 into 2.5 into that is 8. So you may get 157 point. And next one is long LBH. Okay, you will get this particular one as the output. Okay, now this is the second one, that is here till now for function overloading we have um, written three example programs. First one is to find addition of two integers and three integers, or two floors and three floors. That one example. And in second example we find the or we repeated a character for some number of times. Okay, by declaring three functions. One is with the default arguments, that is without any argument, and with one argument, and with two arguments. And in this program we have observed to write a program to find the volume of three different shapes. In this case I have taken volume of cube, cylinder and cuboid. And moving to fourth example on function overloading. Here uh, we are using pass by reference. Okay, function overloading and also pass by reference. And as we discussed, pass by reference can be done using two methods. One is using pointer variables and another one is using reference variables. Okay, here I am using these reference variables for pass by reference. I am using reference variables. Okay, and I am also combining this pass by reference with function overloading. So here what I am going to do is I want to swap two integers, two floats and two characters. Okay, so here simply I want to define a function which swaps, that is interchanges two integers, two floats and two characters using function overloading. Okay, so in order to swap two integers, I need to use one method swap with two integers as its arguments. And in order to swap or interchange two floats, I require one more swap function with two float variables. And likewise for characters, third uh, function with two character arguments. Okay, so I declared those three functions here with reference variable ampersand, right? So that is reference variable. And here in main what I am doing is, instead of sending values directly here, as I am using this reference variable, so I am declaring two variables for these three different data types, that is integers, float and characters. That's why int ix, iy, float fx, fy, char, cx, cy. Okay, I am declaring these three, and after that I am getting values of these six variables, that is two integers uh, storing into the ix and iy, and two floats, enter two floating numbers, and I am going to enter them into the save into the fx and fy variables, and two characters, and I am saving them into cx, cy. Okay, and after that, after reading these values, okay, are values for these six variables, I am calling swap function by passing two integers, and swap function by passing two floats, and swap function by passing two characters. Okay, so after calling this swap by passing this, I am printing after the swap. Okay, if you want, you can print before swap also the values of ix, iy, fx, fy, and cx, cy before swap. But here I want to print only after swap only. If you want, you can print before swap. That is after reading these values, these six variables. Okay, here see out before swapping, the two integers are, two floats are, two characters are. Okay, print like that, and after that swapping, that is by calling this swap function by passing appropriate variables. Okay, and after that swapping of two numbers. Okay, you print these same variables so that you will get before swap and after swap the values of these variables. Okay, if you want, you can modify like that. Here I don't want to that is make my program very lengthy. Anyhow, now that is lengthy only, that's why I don't want to. That's why I simply declare the variables. I return the main function, and now I am defining the swap function of two integers, two floats, and two characters. So very easy, as all of us know. We need to take one temporary variable based on the type of the variable here. If we want to swap integers, we need to declare integer one variable temp of type integer. If we are swapping two floats, then take the variable temp of type float. If that is characters, take this temp of type character. Okay, that's it, and remaining is same for all these three definitions. We are storing the a value into temp, and after that a equal to b, that is storing the b value into a, and after that we are storing the temp value into b, that is which consists of a value. Okay, that is first value of a first value before overwriting with b. We are storing that into b. Same logic for all the other two method functions here. So need not to explain. Now open the uh, that is program Turbo C++, and we need to write the program here. Instead of writing everything, I just want to, if possible, will replace this program. Otherwise, we will copy and paste further of the typing some program. We will simply do copy and paste. Hash include iostream.h hash include bonio.h. Okay, and declare these three functions, okay, which swap with reference variables. Void swap int comma int. Okay, that is enough, I think so. We will check if it returns any errors, then we will modify that. Otherwise, it works fine. Swap two characters, char comma char. I think it returns the error because here we are using this reference variable, right? So better to use now itself. Two floats and two characters, right? So float address of fx comma float reference variable fy. Okay, here also we need to modify char address of cy character cx here also iy and here ix. Okay, and main into main. Okay, declare variables int ix comma iy. Likewise, float float fx comma fy. Okay, and char cx comma cy. Okay, and clear screen I am giving. Okay, now read values into these 6 variables, that is cout enter 2 integers. Okay, 2 integers, and read into appropriate variables, that is in ix iy. Okay, and again for 2 floats and 2 characters. So without writing, simply I just want to copy it and I will modify this, but this is not recommended. In order to save the time, I am simply doing this, but it is not recommended at all. Floating numbers. Okay, read into appropriate variables, that is fx, fy, and 2 here characters. Characters cx, cy. Okay, here if you want to print them, you can print. I don't want to print here, and I want to print the integers, floats and characters after swapping only. So swapping of 2 integers. How I can swap 2 integers? Okay, how I can, by passing these 2 integers to the function swap. Swap. What are those 2 integers? Ix comma iy. Okay, but here you need to remember that you are using this reference variable. Okay, that you have to remember that and after that see out these two values. Ix equals to ix equals to ix, okay, and if you want in next line or in the same line by giving some space. Iy is iy, and after printing them better to go to next line and then okay. Now I have to call this swap for all the remaining types. Okay, so I am pasting without, that is I want to modify the code again and again. I don't want to write this two float numbers, float numbers. Okay, so float numbers are fx, fy. So print them only. Fx is fx and fy is fy, and of two characters. This is only main, we need to define these functions characters. So cx, cy, okay, cx, cx, cy and cy. This is only main, okay. By getting values or reading values return 0 of these three different data types and passing them as arguments to the function swap, and we are printing them. Okay, now we need to declare each and every function here. So first one is void swap with two integers, right? So int underscore of ix comma that is here, and I need to create reference variable, right? So int underscore b, okay, aliases, and I need to take one temporary variable int t, and t equals to a, and uh, t equals to a equals to b, and b equals to t. Okay, like that for remaining two. Okay, by changing the data type. Again and again I am telling this is copying and pasting is not advisable, but in order to uh, save the time I am doing here, that's it. So here two floats, float, this is also float type, and this also should be float, and this is char, char, and this is also char. Okay, save the file. Function function overload swap. Okay, I don't know whether again it will give same function in which is not accepting function over. Alt F, swap with reference dot cpp, I don't know whether. Okay, and compile the program to check the errors. No errors. Run the program. Two integers 20 30, two floating numbers, 2.5, 7.5, two characters, S, V, C. I enter 20, 30, but here swapping of two integers 30, 20, 20, 30, 30, 20, and 2.5, 7.5, 7.5, 2.5, and S, V, V, S. So this is the output of this particular program. So in this program, what we are doing, we are swapping two integers, two characters, two floats using reference variable, that is passed by reference. Okay, so for that I declared three functions with same name swap with different type of parameters, that is int, char and float. And after that in main I declared two integers, two floats, two characters, and using cout and cin I read the values for these six variables. And after that I am sending two integers to the swap and two characters to the swap and two floats to the swap function, and I am printing after swapping what are the values of these variables in main. And after that here I am defining these three functions with that is swap with two integers, two floats and two characters. Everything is same like swapping two integers, but here only thing is here we use reference variable. Okay, so in order to swap again same procedure, same method, that is we need to take one temporary variable and we need to store the temporary first value into the temporary value variable and b into the first value and temporary value to the b. Everything is same. So this is function overloading with reference variables. Okay, so till now what we of course we will complete this also. Advantages of function overloading: we can eliminate the use of different function names. Okay, so we need not to remember no number of function names here. Easy to understand and debug, and maintenance is very easy compared to in which a function is having number of function names. Okay, these are the advantages of function overloading. So in this today's lecture we have observed three more programs on function overloading. Okay, thank you.